All right, we just pulled up the Patriot Performance. What's going on, Tim?
What's going on, man? Good to see you.
Good to see you too. So, listen to this. What happened to your eye?
I got some metal in it about 1 o'clock in the morning. Got some metal in it, and I reached out to the doctor that I normally go to, and on the off chance I left him a voicemail, he called me back 4 minutes later and said, meet me at the office at 11:15, and I'll get it cut out. I'll get it all cleaned up for you.
Oh my God, and it's crazy. Like I don't know if the camera can see that good, but that thing looks swollen, man. But
it doesn't feel great, but it's not too bad.
You're still out here though, still out here on a Sunday working.
That's it.
And that was crazy. I hit him up, and he's like, "When can you be here?" I was like, "Man, I could be here tomorrow." He's like, "Let's make it happen." I was like, "Well, all right, let's make it happen." And we're here.
We're here.
What, less than 24 hours almost since our conversation.
That's it. Let's get this motor knocked out.
Yeah, well, let's take a tour of the shop.
Sweet. Rock and roll, man. This is a clean room. This is where everything ends up in here. Everything's clean, ready to assemble when it comes in here. Trying to keep everybody's stuff separated out. And if your stuff is on the bench, it's ready to go together.
Man, look at that. And it's legit a clean room, too.
Yep, clean room. We got a spring dyno. We do that for all of our set up all of our springs, and that way whenever you come back in here, say if we do a freshen up a year and a half, 2 years from now, I can check all of your springs in the same order, and it'll plot the graph to see where they fell off. So if I tell you need new springs, you need new springs. It's not because I want to sell them to you, it's because we know we need them.
And that's important too, especially in drifting and engines that rev high. We have some springs. So
yeah, so we actually hook that up to a laptop. We save all the software, we save all of it and whatnot, and then that gets put up your invoice and whatnot, so we can store that, so we can look it up for future reference. So we can look it for future reference, and if we ever need to reference back what worked, if we need to change spring pressures or anything like that.
That's smart. How does this thing even work?
It's all data. Move this out of your way. It's made by Buxton. They're handmade, so you have to order one and wait months and months and months and months to get one.
No way.
Yep. So you can actually program it for your coil bind. You can calibrate it out to where you can set your retainer thickness. You can set it up for, that's your basic calibration screen. But you can set this up where you put a spring in it, desired coil bind, your valve lift, approximate height, and then run it through, and it tells you if it's going to clear and if it passes or not.
That is crazy. I've never seen that before.
Yep. No, but we don't. I don't ever want to know or have a question mark. I always want to know it's going to be fine and it's going to work and it's going to do what it's supposed to.
That's smart. That's smart.
So,
important too, especially when you're doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
Look at those bad boys. Can I feel how light that is?
Sure.
Oh my God. Dude, this is crazy.
Yep. Have at it.
Look at that. Fancy stuff. Man, this is awesome. And look, you just got shelves full of parts and everything. That's so cool. It's so nice and organized.
For now.
For now.
Yeah. Give it 10 minutes and I'll start building. No, it's got to stay organized. That one, it's not cheap. But, this is cylinder head corner. A lot of older stuff. Over here, spring compressor over here. Air spring compressor. Drive seats and guides up between those two. Got a 2J head. I've had a slew of 2J stuff.
Dude, I've seen you posting a bunch of 2J stuff.
Slew of 2J stuff. Fuel hoops. Everyone wants them.
Which is crazy.
I've had probably one 2J head come in the past 3 years, and this month we've had 4 more come in, and they all want hoops. Yeah. So, yep. So that's that.
If y'all with 2Js, if y'all need any 2J head stuff done, you know where to go.
This stuff is really neat. This got dropped off. My buddy Zach brought these in here. He's got the only billet block SHO Ford Taurus motor.
No way.
He's got a billet block that he had made custom in Australia. So I'm dry decking. He brought me this head, and it's a used one. And he was worried about it warping in the cam tunnel, so I welded on it and got it dry decked. And they still roll over fine. Everything's good. Everything clearances out. So now he's got 4 more for me to do, so we can dry deck all those. Then they hit the SERDI for a valve job, and we're in it.
Man.
Yep. This is all of our stuff we use for measuring pistons when we do honing and whatnot. This setup here was ran in a customer's motor for, I don't know, a couple thousand miles or whatever. Overheated real bad. Didn't have an oil cooler on it, and we tested it, just torched everything. Torched everything. So then when we do this, we normally have everything up on the TV. So we actually have plots that we measure to see how much that piston ovaled out, how much it cammed, and whatever else, so we can tell if it's perfectly round and whatnot, and that gives us a curve by how crooked it is and where.
No way.
So we do that.
Science.
Yeah, so we do that. That's a billet block that came in from our Louisiana guys. That one's going into a...
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that one's going into a C10. The guy that, Trent Braylon, it's a crock pot. It's an old C10, so we're going to stuff that thing in there. But
Dude,
this one had a little bit of scarring in it, so we rough honed that one to get it figured out and figured out what size piston we need to go with.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yep, so that's a billet block from
God.
Dart. No, so that's a really cool one. This is a really neat build here. That's it's called a wedge block. You can see the liner is cut in there at a different, so the deck is at a different angle than the cylinder is.
Yeah.
So we had to put a sleeve in this one. So can't tell there's a sleeve in it now, but you know, we put a sleeve in that one. So all the way up to here, all the way down to the bottom is a new sleeve. Can't, you know.
You really can't tell. That's crazy.
Yep. So we're gonna bore that out, put new pistons into that one. Or
what motor is this? Like, what is
that block? It's a big block Chevy 409 wedge.
Dude,
we only made them for a few years.
Massive.
Yeah. Yep.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's just a wide block, goofy motor.
I wonder what kind of intake manifold that thing takes. That has to be crazy.
Yeah, it's goofy. That customer was going to build it himself, so he brought it down here from another machine shop had it, and they weren't comfortable putting a sleeve in it, so they brought it down here, and we got it knocked out. And he's like, "Hey, while it's there, do everything you want to machine it, so it's perfect, so I can roll it together and be done with it."
And you can't even tell. That's wild.
Yep. So that one, that was an interesting one. I'm not opposed to doing goofy stuff. That's in a roller for surfacing. It's a 427 we're doing for a blower for a big wheel guy. You know, big wheel Don.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, big wheel guy. He's been a really good customer of mine for a long time, so that's a cool one. Really, really cool one. JJ. JJ's name is Burn Rubber. That's how I knew him for years. But yeah, and then we got 3 crank grinders. No, this is kind of the messy side of the shop. But blocks that are all need work.
You said messy, and it doesn't even look that bad. Dude, look at that. Freaking shelf full cylinder head. That's crazy.
That's another drift guy right there. We were supposed to have his torn apart. Last week, but ran into a couple of issues. But I'm gonna have his torn apart. He said he had it in and running, and he started hearing a squealing on the bottom end. That typically tells me it's, you know, crank. It's a main or something like that.
Yeah.
It's squealing down the bottom end. So, you know, another drift guy. You know, you guys are flooding the shop. You guys are flooding the shop, which I'm good with it.
It's awesome. I'm glad drifting's growing so much too that they're starting to do this. Because I mean, dude, back in the day, drifting was just slap things together and roll. But now with the tracks and the level of grip these cars have and all the crazy stuff we're doing, it's just, you know, you need to start taking better care of your engines and stuff. You know,
Yep.
Getting stuff built right.
And we'll squeeze as much as we can out of yours. I'm excited about the program we got going.
Oh man, I'm stoked.
I'm real excited about the program we got going together for yours.
I'm so stoked.
You know, when you said you wanted to make 400 or so, 450, I was
yeah,
like,
easy.
we're going after that. We're going after all of it.
Hell yeah, I'm ready for it too. And you know, this motor, we did 5,000 miles last year on the crate motor, and this year we're doing 10,000 street miles. So it's gonna be badass. I'm so stoked for it. Like I'm excited. I'm super excited.
It'd be good. I'm glad we can finally get you right, get you putting some miles on it, and you can show up to the track and not worry about it and just go run it.
God, I'm so ready to be just like have peace of mind.
That's it.
You know, and I've been chasing this issue for it's almost been 6 months now, trying to like figure out. And honestly, I felt like lost. I was like, I don't even know how. I almost bought another car. I was like, I just need to get on track, and then I hit you up, and it was just like it just worked out perfect. I felt good, and even my girl was like, "You seem so much happier," and I was like, "Yeah." I'm like, I've just had a different change of mind after talking to you, you know. So I'm excited, and I hope everybody's excited too, because this car is going to scream now.
No, excited, stoked to get involved in it and get working on it. So we'll keep you updated as we go through. Keep a bunch of pictures and stuff flowing your way.
Yeah.
And why not keep the data flowing so you know what you're getting.
I'm ready, and obviously you guys are going to see everything too with that. So, and we will be at Road Atlanta. So hopefully you come too, man.
Planning on it.
Okay, sick. That's going to be a crazy event because Grid Life and FD are joining together, and I haven't drifted this track in almost 7 years.
It's a big track too, isn't it?
Massive.
So it's a you're getting some speed.
Oh yeah.
Getting some speed up involved.
Getting some speed. And so last time I drifted this track, I was actually in a 300 horsepower RX-7.
Got it.
And if you guys remember that car was slow as balls. So now, you know, I have a Vet, which has a ton of grip, and it's going to have power. Like, I'm so ready to actually attack the track with, like, power, you know?
Sweet.
So, not one of the slow guys anymore.
Not one of the slow guys anymore. Not if I have anything to do with it.
Yeah, right? Well, you also said Engine Builder magazine's coming, too.
They're coming out tomorrow.
That's crazy.
Yep, they're coming out here tomorrow. Be here probably midday tomorrow, and we'll talk with them. They got a couple featured engines they want to do and go through some of the blueprinting process with me.
That's gonna be badass. When do you sleep? That's the question.
I don't. I typically try not to come out here on Sundays. This is we got pushed back got pushed behind yesterday on a couple of deadlines that we had to go through and whatnot. So my wife and kids went to the house. They're packing some lunch and dinner up. They're going to come out and spend some time out here with me
nice.
in a little bit, and then just trying to get some loose ends cleaned up.
Makes sense. And I do appreciate you coming and taking care of me too on a Sunday, man. Like,
No
for
problem.
real. So, well, I'll try to get out of your hair. Let's get some stuff unloaded.
Sweet.
So right now we're talking about painting it. What does square decking mean?
So what we do is we actually correct the deck finish or the deck surface. So we put it in a jig in the machine and we locate it off the main tunnel and the cam tunnel. And then what we do is then we measure off of a plate that's located off of those. So we corrected whatever it is from the factory. So the factory is crooked this way or whatever it is. We're blueprinting it and making it straight the way it's supposed to be and correcting all the angles on it. So it can
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, so it can be flat, but it can be flat this way or flat that way or whatever. So if you just take a straight edge and put it on there, it might be flat, but it's still crooked. So we fix all that stuff.
Mind blown.
So if we paint that block for you, we can do whatever color you want to, but it would have little pockets cut out like this. And the whole front would be, you know, machined off like shiny like this. So you know, if you want the car to be flashy, we can do whatever color you want to. Or we can just leave it all aluminum and acid bath it and make it look like it's new that way. It's up to you. I just offered out to customers. We can even, if you get us a paint code, we could paint match it to the car.
That's crazy. Dude, that's crazy.
So
I've never heard of that, but yeah.
This one comes from, this is an LSX box. That one comes from them powder coated.
Yeah.
But we'll paint that one, you know, that's usually what we do. You know, aluminum are 50-50. Some guys want it painted. Some guys absolutely don't. They want it to be aluminum. So,
that makes sense. I didn't think about that. I think that's something to think about for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Crazy. Never heard of that. All right, I'm going to be getting out of Tim's hair. Tim, thank you so much, dude. And where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Look me up at patriot.performance.racing. It's on all of them. So look at me there. Shoot me a message, and I'll be happy to work with you on it.
So just shoot you a message, Facebook and Instagram, and they can reach you?
That's it.
Sick. So, yeah, hit him up, guys. Super quick, super fast to respond, and definitely good, dude. We sat here and talked for a little bit, and I definitely feel like we have some good things coming our way, and then you're going to be getting a ride in my drift car for sure, bro. For sure. Look, busy man. But all right, guys, I'm going to get out of his hair, and we're going to head back home. So y'all check him out, Patriot Performance. Drop a like, drop a follow, and come get some engines built.
Rock and roll. Thank you, brother.
So I'm excited to see where we're at with this motor, and excited to give him a ride in the car. And that's a good guy. Y'all check him out, for real, man, for real. I posted on my Instagram if anybody wants to meet up and get some food, and I didn't realize I was far from everybody. So super far from everybody. Fun. But yeah, I'm just gonna go get, oh man, that lightning was crazy. I'm just gonna go get some food by myself. I'm gonna go get some sushi. Heck yeah.